Bernie Sanders is back on the mend, but not on the campaign trail as he recovers from a heart attack in his home state of Vermont. The Democratic presidential candidate was forced to cancel campaign events last week after being hospitalized in Las Vegas. Doctors found a blockage in one of his arteries and inserted 2 stents. The 78-year-old was discharged 3 days later. On Tuesday, Sanders was spotted outside his home in Burlington, where he was on his way to visit a cardiologist. In his first comments to the press since his health scare, Sanders encouraged others to learn from his mistakes.
I must confess that I was dumb. I was born, and thank God that I have a lot of energy. And, you know, during this campaign, I've been doing, in some cases, 3 or 4 rallies a day, running all over the state, Iowa, New Hampshire, wherever. And yet in the last month or 2, just was more fatigued than I usually have been. So, and I should have listened to those symptoms. So if there's any message that I hope we can get out there, is that I want people to pay attention to their symptoms. And, you know, when you're hurting, when you're fatigued, when you have a pain in your chest, listen to it.
2020 campaign reporter Cara Korte has been following Bernie Sanders on the campaign trail and joins me now from Burlington. Hi, Cara. So what is the latest information you have on Sanders' condition? We are glad to see that he appears to be much better there. What more do you know?
That's right. Good evening, Tanya. The senator sounds and looks well to the reporters that have seen him in the past few days. What you heard just then was him going to his cardiologist today when he said that he felt a bit dumb, a bit ashamed that he wasn't listening to his body. When he came back, he told us that this means this heart incident is going to affect his campaign. They're going to change. They're going to scale it back a little bit. He always held that rigorous schedule. He said 4 events a day. He was doing that 6 days a week. The week before he had a heart attack, he went to 7 states in 6 days. So what that means going forward is that we will most likely be seeing fewer events on a given day, on a given week, and perhaps less travel in general for the senator.
And of course, Cara, in the wake of this heart attack, Sanders is now facing questions over his viability as a presidential candidate. How much of a setback is this for his campaign?
Well, we'll see what the electorate in general thinks of Sanders' health and Sanders' viability at this point. Different from the general electorate is his staff, his volunteers, and his built-in support who feel energized. They want to see Bernie back on the road. They see from reporting that he's doing well. His energy is up. He says he's feeling better. So we'll begin to see if that kind of energy that's been suddenly built inside the campaign is something that they can transfer to voters who are still looking to cast a vote.
And Cara, despite his health scare, Sanders' team has continued doing its work in those early voting states. Tell us about the announcement his campaign made today.
Yeah, so that just shows how the campaign has continued to roll on, even as he has been resting at home or in the hospital. They announced today in New Hampshire 2 state co-chairs, both of them state representatives. So what does that mean? That means that they are promoting people who they believe are in tune with Granite State voters and were elected themselves in New Hampshire. So they're hoping to transfer that knowledge onto the senator.
And of course, countdown to the 4th Democratic presidential primary debate. Just 1 week from now, a dozen candidates are set to appear on stage in Westerville, Ohio. Will Sanders be ready to take that on?
He seems to have no hesitation that he will be ready. Really, the question is, are we going to see him on the trail campaigning before next Tuesday evening? We asked him that this evening, and he said, you just might. I think that you will see me. Now, we'll see if that comes to fruition, if events get added to his schedule. What's interesting is that the senator said tonight after his appointment that this recovery period is about regaining his endurance. Mentally, the senator seems absolutely fine. So standing on a debate stage for a couple hours a night perhaps might be a nice kind of segue into getting back on the campaign trail.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Cara Korte, we thank you so much for all your work out on the trail.
Thank you so much.